This video brought to you by AUSOM L1 electric scooter. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today we're back with our 1976 Honda CB550, and we're starting to put the finishing touches on it. Guys, we had hoped to have the carburetor back on in this episode, but it is not finished cleaning. It had so much varnish in there that was so thick that we just had to soak it and soak it to try to get it off. And we have 3 of the 4 floats now actually move. Haven't been able to get the pins out yet, but we're still working on it. This is what 50 years of varnish looks like. Look how thick it is. It just, let's see if we can clean these up. Needless to say, everything is stuck. This thing was probably parked with a full tank of gas and then just left to just sit. Let's see if I can get all those off. Ugh. That one's not moving. Not yet. Okay, I scraped out these bowls. Not the best, but just to get out a lot of that gunk in there. And now I'm gonna see what works best to remove that varnish. I've got some carb cleaner, some chem dip, some acetone, and some E85. And we're gonna do a very, very scientific experiment. Number 1 is E85. Somebody said it removed varnish, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Number 2 is acetone. Number 3 is carb cleaner. So we're just gonna take a little while to fill a bowl. Let me know what you use to remove varnish. And the last one, chem dip. And to be fair, this chem dip has been used for quite some time, so I'm not exactly sure how potent it still is, but we'll let these guys sit. We'll let them go for about 20 minutes and then we'll check back in. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, so let's dump these out and then see what the results are. Okay, so let's look at all of them. E85, it's not soft in there. The acetone is soft there. Carb cleaner looks really good. That's just what's left in the bottom. Another soak and we'll get the rest out of the bottom. And then this was chem dip. And let's see if this stuff is soft in here. So yeah, that's still soft. So carb dip, acetone, chem dip, and then E85. Maybe E85 and chem dip about the same. We're gonna do another round and see what they look like. I'll show you at the end. But so far, carb clean, winning the game. Okay, so the results. Obviously, carb dip for the win. This is just leftover stuff sitting in there. I mean, it's pretty clean. That's 2 15-minute sessions. E85, not so good. Acetone did really good. They look pretty similar. This one was chem dip, but the second go I just poured seafoam in it to see if it would make a difference, and it seemed to. But carb cleaner is the best. Now I just got to figure out what's in carb cleaner. So you remember the last episode we showed that we couldn't get the controls on, the switches on, because we had to clearance the wiring. And so we went ahead and did that. Have this on, clutch cable and clutch lever. So all we need is grips over here. We do have some pull here, so that's good. We don't know if it functions, but that works. We also got another, I had another turn signal. I didn't have a lens, so I need to source a lens. We swapped over the headlight to the other trim ring. That this one is just a little smashed, not as smashed as what the other one was. And we have the first of 2 gauges on. We've got a tack on here. This is not the correct tack. The tack that was on it had, looks like a red line that went from like 95 or 9,000 to a little over 9,000 to a little over 10,000. This one's a little lower. Need a speedo. I don't have a speedo, so I'm still searching for that here. Like, it just looks better. I've got the speedo hanging here just until we get there. The other thing I did was I had a taillight lens, so I put it on even though I'm still looking for a fender. All of this to replace where it's bent. The grab rail, the fender, and maybe the taillight assembly. I don't think it's that bent, but I just put it on just because I hate looking at the taillight without a cover on it. So, but it does look better, even though we still have a funky fender. So now what we're going to do is turn our attention to stopping. And this brake used to be seized, so I want to pull this caliper off and clean it up, rebuild it, and put it back on. So yeah, not much pad wear here on these, and look at this. Not much wear on this rotor either. Looks pretty good. And look, there's another paint mark. I know I shared the yellow paint marks all over it. Just kind of curious to see what they are. Here's some more here. Here. Oh, and then we found some other info. It was inspected. It was due for an inspection of June of '78. So this inspection sticker would have expired in June of '78. So he must have bought it in June of maybe '76 or '77. Who knows? Yeah, let's go ahead and clean this up. Okay, so I got the caliper off. Now I'm gonna use the air compressor to see if put some pressure here, some air in here. It should shoot that out. Just I like to wrap it with a towel to slow it down before it hits me in the face. And then just, oh, let me make sure this is closed off. Okay, take 2. Not getting it, not moving. It moved a little bit. Okay, so the tip on my air compressor, whatever that thing's called, was had a hole in it, so I couldn't get a good seal. So all I did was hook it up to this 550 and just pumping it out. It's gonna make a mess when we get to the end here. We're almost out. A little bit more juice. Pad out. Now piston is almost out. I keep coming. Well, I think we're about it. Yeah, there we go. I think we passed the seal. There we go. All out. There's the mess. Let's go ahead and dump this out. Take a look. It doesn't look too bad. Let's get some brake clean. So let's just hose this out. No, it's not bad at all. Look at that. We're gonna clean it up, but let's clean this piston too. Yeah, this piston looks really good too. A quick rinse. We'll do the same thing with this pad. First thing we're gonna do is take this seal out. Just use a pick, get it underneath there, just so we can get the gunk out. This guy's still soft, still feels good. It's got a little dried brake fluid on the edges, but we'll clean that up. And then we're gonna go ahead and clean that up. To clean it up, all I'm doing is using the drill, the Dremel. This is a brass brush, so it'll be nice and gentle. And then just gonna get in there. Oh, gotta be careful not to get the towel. I'm just gonna work my way around. Making sure you get in the land where the seal rides to get the stuff out. So yeah, look at that guy. I mean, relatively brand new. So when you think about it, you know, there's no need to go out and buy a new caliper or anything like that, because this is hard. This very rarely is this going to go bad unless it just gets pitted so bad in here. These are replacement item consumables, your pads. This you don't have to do anything with. Your piston, most of the time, unless it gets overly pitted, the only thing you're replacing is this guy. It's the seal. And like I said, unless your piston is bad, I'm going to clean this one up. This is a brass brush, so it's not going to harm the chrome. We have a couple of pits in here, but it's not. This isn't anything that's going to cause us any grief. I will clean the bottom of this. We'll do the same thing right here, just keep cleaning it all up. But I'll clean up the edges to make sure it slides real good. Make sure you wear eye protection with this little Dremel thing, this little guy, because these little bristles come flying off, poke you in the face. That worked there a little bit better. This one's good because it just sits there and presses against. No big deal. To change these out, they're super simple. A pin, pop it out. This guy, you just stick it in. Bob's your uncle. And I'm gonna clean this guy up now. And by cleaning it up, I mean I'm gonna spray some brake clean on it, then I'm gonna wipe it off. Not much to be done here. And to be fair, this is the side that rides on the caliper. I mean on the piston, so it's good. Then just take this guy and slide it right back in. It's pretty easy. Just put it in, just work your way around. Just like that. I'm just gonna pour a little, just a few drops of brake fluid in here, just because I want to wipe it around that seal really good. I'm gonna use the same thing around this piston. I want to stick it back in, and then we're just gonna press it back in, just like that. Put this guy in right there, and you're good to go. We'll wipe it off. Clean it with a little brake clean, make sure we don't have any fluid on it, but we're good to go. Now, we can put this guy back on. We've effectively rebuilt our caliper. All right, just gonna slide these back in. I did clean off the shanks of these just so they're not sticky as they go through. This guy just screws into it on the back side. There we go, there's that. And then the last thing is we'll screw in our brake line. Yeah, once you get it started, pretty easy. And I'll show you what I mean by the master cylinder in just a second. Let me tighten this up and I'll get back to you in just a moment. So yeah, see this guy's stuck in there. I have a couple of master cylinders at home that I'm gonna check and see, and they're pretty simple to rebuild. I don't have a rebuild kit for it, but sometimes you can take them apart and clean them up, and I'll show you that when we get to it. If not, they're cheap enough just to buy a replacement, because it's cheaper to buy a replacement than it is to buy a rebuild kit. So we'll see on that. If the ones at home are usable, if not, I'll just move into Amazon. Okay guys, we made big headway today. Oh, one other thing. I figured out why my headlight was not working with the switch is because it was not wired in. So I'm going to keep looking for a replacement, the correct one. I don't have a complete one here, and if I have to, I'll make do. Oh, yeah, my glasses are broken. Got a new pair on the way, so hopefully I won't be like this for long. But yeah, if I can find the correct one, that way I don't have to use, where is it? This one right here. And still looking. That and rear fender. I think we're getting a lens. We're getting closer to putting this guy back together, a Speedo. So I'm still looking for parts. Maybe this weekend I'll find some. But master cylinder, and then we have brakes. And then, oh, we also have, so I also found another wheel at home. Imagine that. And this one has a brand new Dunlop K70 on it. So this guy is going to go on the back because this tire is not the best, but this one is a brand new and it's all there. It's in better shape. I think maybe in better shape than the other one. So at least the tire is in better shape. In tube, all that's brand new. So that'll be good. I'll plop that on and we'll be good to go. Rear tire, I will need to find a new front tire down the line. That's not anything right up front, and a battery. But we're getting closer. Guys, I say we're getting closer and then I rattle off 30 or 40 other things that we need. But we are getting closer. Now it's the detail-y things that we need to do in addition to putting the car back on and make sure this thing runs. But I have very little doubt that that's going to be an issue. So guys, I want to thank you for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. And do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day. Meet the AUSOM L1 electric scooter, your new favorite way to zip through life without the fuss. With a top speed that makes your morning commute feel like a victory lap, a long-lasting battery, and styling sharp enough to make your neighbor jealous, the L1 brings fun, efficiency, and zero drama to every ride. So if you're ready for these good vibes, now's the time. Click on the link in the description below and use the promo code MREWINDL1 to save a little cash enjoying the electric age. The AUSOM L1 electric scooter. Go awesome or go home.